Good afternoon to you all, or let me just say good day, depending on the time of the day at your current location. It's so awesome having this webinar. We've been at it for a very long time, and finally, the time is here. The time is here finally, and we are really, really glad about that. So let me know. Let me see your response in the chat box. If you are live already, let me see your response in the chat box. Thank you. I hope I'm audible. I'm seeing the comments right away. In fact, let me even do well to position myself to be able to access our comments very well. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for joining in. I'm trying to read the comments. Thank you. Thank you. You are cited. Daniel Kwemi, you're cited. Iola Grace, you're cited. Taiwa Remo, you're cited. Zaino Olaide, you're cited. Titokopedia, you're cited. Thank you for joining us. Adekunle 14, you're cited. Aisha Fati, you're cited. Ruth, you're cited. You can let us know where you are joining from, the state or the country you are joining from. Let me know. Let me know where you are joining in from. Adekunle is joining from Lagos, Nigeria. Welcome. We are so glad to have you here. Atim Rijal is joining from Ireland. We are so glad to have you here. Welcome. 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 Viola Grace is joining in from Nigeria. Thank you. Thank you for joining in. We have Oluwafola Ayode from Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you for joining us on this platform. It's going to be such an awesome moment. It's going to be an awesome time. Thank you for joining in. We have Umi Ali Latif joining in from Ibadan, your state. Wow. Wow. We are so glad to have you on board. You're welcome. Daniel Femi from Lagos. I don't from Lagos. You're welcome. Thank you for joining us. Toko Peja from your state. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. Thank you. It's so awesome having everyone on this platform. Wow, we have someone from Bayelsa, Mr. Samuel. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. So I want to assure us that today is going to be such an educative moment, and I want to trust that you've come prepared. I want to believe that you have your jotting pads, you have your pen. Some of us have come with our questions. In fact, I've been receiving a number of messages even before today. As I yesterday, I had a number of people coming to my DM and they were sharing their expectations, and I was like, wow, wow, this is awesome. So it's nice that finally now the moment that we have been waiting for, that we have been announcing, that we have been publicizing is finally here. And I want to assure us once again that our facilitators are very much set for you as well. I just want to urge you, if at any point in time you are having issues with network connection and the likes, just keep trying, keep reloading the site, keep reloading the link, and make sure that you don't miss out too much. I hope we get to that part. And as well, I announced to those who were added to the WhatsApp chat that we are going to be announcing as well the winner of the giveaway contest today. So yes, the winner of the giveaway contest will be announced today as well. That's an awesome one that we are looking forward to. And we will see if we can as well have a number of other giveaway sessions in the process. But beyond the giveaways, please, beyond the giveaway is the access to the information that we are going to be getting on this platform. I want to believe that for you to have joined, it actually means that you are a nutrition enthusiast. Being a nutrition enthusiast is the reason why you've been so intentional about registering and about making sure that you are present yourself for this webinar today. So once and again, we welcome every one of you, and we are so glad to have you on this platform. Shortly, oh, thank you. Thank you for showing me that Adepoye Miriam. Thank you for joining us. So shortly, I want to introduce us to the organizers of this webinar, and that's the organization, the Food Legend. The Food Legend is actually a non-governmental organization that is currently based in Nigeria with the prime purpose of helping lives bear food. That's the prime purpose, helping lives bear food in the sense that we are intentional about seeing that the information, the knowledge that we have as regards food and nutrition is passed across to our society. We are not just taught these things just for learning sake. We are taught these things so that they can make some so that they can make positive impact on society. That's the main reason. I mean, that's the main reason why we are doing what we do. And there are diverse ways by which we achieve the same purpose of ours, which is helping lives via food. We have, visitations to orphanages, visitations to elementary schools. We organize conferences. We organize webinars like this one that we are having at the moment. All that we are just trying to do is to ensure that we are reaching out to people and making sure that humanity actually gets better via our inputs based on our knowledge about food and nutrition. So please, I think I'm seeing a comment like my voice is not too loud. Please, can we all hear me? Let me just know so that I will see there's an adjustment to be made from my end here. I hope I'm audible enough to everyone who's connected at the moment. So to the second thing that I'm going to be talking about is about the webinar. About the webinar. For those of us who joined in, depending on where you were referred from, be it Facebook or you saw the flyers in LinkedIn or you saw it on your friend's WhatsApp status or somebody sent it, to your DM, wherever it is that you got it from, I want to believe that you are aware of the topic of discussion for today. So it's not like there is anyone on board that, it's not like there's anyone on board who is not aware of what we are doing here. And even if you can check the background, my background right now, you are going to find the theme for the webinar right there. And it says what emphasizing the importance of nutrition and health. So that's just the main thing, emphasizing the importance of nutrition and health. So this webinar is actually specifically designed for nutrition enthusiasts, people who are passionate about the field of nutrition, people who have interest in the field of nutrition and actually want to make a positive, impact in that particular field. You want to be a society, you want to impact your community by contributing in that particular field. So these are the set of people that this webinar is actually specially designed for. And I want to assure you that it doesn't even matter if you have a prior knowledge about nutrition or not, because this webinar is going to be breaking it down to the basic as much as possible. And at the same time, for those of us who are veterans who already know about nutrition, at the same time, I'm very sure that there is going to be a session that will actually help you to also gain additional knowledge as regards the things that you have known before. So we are trying our best to see that everyone is carried along, everyone is carried along and everyone is able to gain something substantial from today's webinar. So basically, I just want to chip in a few things as we have nutrition and health before I bring the facilitator for the first session on board. When we talk about food actually has to do with anything that we take into our body. I believe that we all will agree with me as regards that. Anything you take into your body, nourishment, or for the purpose of refreshment, we call it food. Something that you take into your body that does advantage to you,
there are different types of food depending on your region, depending on your location. Do you get what I'm trying to communicate now? But the primary purpose of food actually is for nourishment, and there are times we also take it for what? Just for refreshment. So anything you take into your body, anything you take into your body through the mouth for nourishment or for refreshment, we refer to those substances as what? As food. Now, when we talk about nutrition is just talking about you being nutrition is talking about your knowledge about food and the nutrient and the nutrient it consists of. You see, food has certain chemicals that are contained in it. These chemicals are actually the chemicals that are of benefit to our body. They are of benefit to our system, to our body system. So the nutrients in the food, those chemicals are the ones we refer to as nutrients. And on a very general note, right from elementary education, we were taught by our teachers that there are different classes of food and all of that. And specifically what they taught us about was what the specific nutrients, in food. And we have just 5 major groups, and which are what? Carbohydrates, we have the protein, we have the fats and oil, we have the vitamins, and we have the minerals. Those are the 5 broad classification of nutrients. Do we get the point now? And the first 3 I talked about, we call them what? Macronutrients. When I say macronutrient actually means that they are needed in large quantity by your body. So we call them macronutrients. Macronutrients are those group of nutrients that your body needs in very, very large amounts. Do we get the point now? Your body needs them in very, very large amounts, and that's the carbohydrate, that's the protein, and that's the fat and oil. So your body needs these particular nutrients in very large quantity, while the second group, we call them micronutrients. Micro spelled MICRO, micronutrients. So the micronutrients are the ones that are needed in small quantity. Do we get the point now? Now, this is something that I believe has been a misconception by many people who don't really know much about nutrition. They kind of assume that because it is called micronutrients, it means it is less important. No. And I want to strike that balance right now. It is called micronutrient, but that does not make it less important. Do we get the point now? Micronutrient, but it is not less important. It is as important as the micronutrient. It's only the quantity that is different. Do we get the point now? It's needed in just a smaller quantity compared to the ones we call what? Macronutrients. The macronutrients are needed in large quantity. Now, why do I say that they are equally important? I said that they are equally important because even these micronutrients, we call them micro, but if your body is deficient of these micronutrients, then there's trouble. Do you get the point now? It's going to result in certain symptoms beginning to show up in your body system. Why is that? Because it is as well important. So it may be needed in small quantity, but it is also very, very important. In fact, they are very vital nutrients as well, because they even help to strengthen your body's defense mechanism. So that's the reason why it is very, very important. So I want to believe that somebody's already taking that as a take home, especially if you are a newbie when it comes to nutrition. I believe you are taking that as a take home already, that we have macronutrients and we have what? Micronutrients. So when we talk about nutrition, there's also one aspect of nutrition I would like to talk about before I bring the facilitator for the first session on board. And what is that segment of nutrition that I would like to talk about? It is called nutrition disorders, or let's just call it malnutrition. Do you get the point now? Now, when we talk about malnutrition as well, malnutrition just has to talk about the result of excess or deficiency in the intake of nutrients. I'll repeat that again. The result of excess or deficiency in the intake of nutrients. This is the point. Each of these nutrients that I talked about earlier on, carbohydrates, protein, fat and oil, minerals, vitamins, each of them are actually needed by your body in specific amount, in specific quantity, depending on your body type. Do you get the point now? Now, when your body does not have sufficient of a nutrient, that's what we call deficiency. It means that, okay, take for example carbohydrates. You are not taking enough carbohydrate, then that person can be said to be what? Deficient deficient when it comes to carbohydrates, or you're not taking enough vitamins, you can experience what? Vitamin deficiency. So that just means that you are not taking enough of that particular nutrient. Now, but there is something that many people actually think about when they hear malnutrition, especially in this part of the world, in Africa generally. When we hear malnutrition, we always think that it's just referring to undernutrition alone. No, malnutrition is in two different aspects as well. We have undernutrition and we have what? Overnutrition. Do we get the point now? So undernutrition is the one we know as malnutrition. That's where you are not taking enough intake of nutrients, be it carbohydrate, be it protein, be it fat, be it minerals or vitamins. Once you are not taking enough, the person is said to be malnourished as regards or in respect rather to that particular nutrient. So that's the point. So you have to be able to understand that malnutrition is not just referring to undernutrition alone. No, malnutrition is referring both to undernutrition and even overnutrition. And result of overnutrition is cases like obesity. And what is that? When you are taking in excess, too much intake of nutrient, more than your body system actually requires. When you are taking too much of the nutrient, that results in what? In overnutrition. So definitely we understand that the most rampant case of malnutrition, especially in Africa, is the aspect of what? Undernutrition. And that is why we are now being intentional, especially as food professionals, to see that we are not just being obsessive about this knowledge that we carry, but making sure that we enlighten the public, making sure that we reach out to as many people as possible to let them understand what malnutrition is and what they can best do to actually do what? To actually avoid malnutrition, be it undernutrition or overnutrition. At the same time, it's the reason why for us as an organization, for example, we are intentional about reaching out to places like orphanage homes. Why are we doing that? So as to let people know that when there are people who are not able to have somebody around them to maybe take care of them, to cater for them, and they are young children, we can promote the cause that these orphanages actually stand for. And they can take a child like that and take him to an orphanage where he or she can be properly fed and can be properly brought up. So that's actually the point. So I don't know who has gotten something from everything that I spoke about just now. Let me get feedback from you. What stood out from you for what I just communicated right now? Is it the aspect of the nutrients I talked about? Is it macronutrient? Is it micronutrient? Is it the aspect of malnutrition I talked about? Let me know. I'm expecting your feedback in the comment section. The facilitator for the first session is coming on board very soon. Thank you very much, Mr. Babayo. It's a well received. Thank you. All right, I'm seeing the comments flowing in now. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. The different types of malnutrition, understanding that micronutrients are needed as much as macronutrients. Thank you very much for that. Thank you. Thank you. Overnutrition and undernutrition. I never knew that there was anything like overnutrition. Yeah, there is. Thank you very much. So right now we are going to be bringing on board the facilitator for the first session, in person of Ms. Olapade Temitokwe. She's going to be joining us on board right now. She's such an amazing person. She's a nutrition guru, and permits me to blow a trumpet. You're about to have a first-class personnel, communicate to you right now. And she's going to be talking about the significance of nutrition and health. Why is nutrition and health significant? So she's going to be coming on board. Can I have you on board, ma? Our apologies. We are noticing that there is a technical issue on my end, and we are trying to get that sorted out. So please, I just want to crave your indulgence for a few more minutes, be it 2 or 3 minutes. It should be sorted. But if we are unable to sort it out, we would have the next speaker come on board instead. Our apologies, please. Thank you.
Hello everyone. Hello. Can anybody hear me? Good afternoon everyone. All right. So, my name is Damilola Ajileye, and yeah, thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Damilola Ajileye, and I'll be talking about common nutrients dense African foods. Talking about common nutrient dense African foods. As we all know, Africa is blessed with so many foods. All right, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so Africa is blessed with so many foods, and these foods they are common and they are rich in nutrients. All right, so to start with, I'll talk about what nutrients are. All right, thank you. All right, so I'll be talking about the first thing we'll be talking about. We'll talk about the definition of nutrient dense food. We'll talk about common examples of nutrient dense food. Talk about the identification of nutrient dense food, how to balance these nutrient dense foods, and how to add these nutrient dense food in our daily diet and the conclusion. All right, so to the first one, I'm talking about what nutrients are. What do we even understand by nutrients? So nutrients, they are molecules in food. Nutrients are molecules in foods that all organisms, that is, it can be animals, it can be humans, it can even be plants. So that all organisms need to make energy, grow, reproduce, and also to develop. So we have so nutrients these nutrients provides us energy, although these nutrients provides energy, but it's not all the nutrients that give us energy. There are some nutrients that they are necessary or important in one way or the other. So we have, why are these nutrients, why are they important? In the body, the nutrient is actually the fuel we need to enable the body to break down food and this after the we this nutrient is actually what we need to break down food. The um it enables us to break, like, the nutrients, sorry about that. So the nutrients are fuel which enable the body to break down food and then put this into use in the body. That is, like, it helps to build or repair cells and tissue, which is basically our metabolism in the body. Now we have classes of nutrients. We have the carbohydrate that provides energy. We have the protein that does three major things, that, like, the first thing, like building the blocking bones. It also builds the muscle, cartilage, and even the skin. It also Protein also helps to repair worn out tissues, and also helps in oxygenation in the body. That is, that oxygenation in the body, like there is this protein called the hemoglobin in the body, which helps to carry or transport oxygen in the body. So we have the fats that provides energy. It also protects our organs and support some vital organs in the body. We have vitamins and minerals that helps to boost the immune system. Supports it also supports growth and development in the body. So we're talking about water. Although water is our body is made up of 60% of water, but this water is still important in our daily diet, because this water helps to maintain the body fluid, and this body fluid function in the body for digestion, absorption, circulation, creation of saliva, and it also maintain the body temperature. All right, so now we can move into the real um topic. So now we'll be talking about common nutrients dense food. So we have sorry about that. All right, so I said nutrients dense foods. Sorry, I'm having a kind of issue here. All right, so nutrients dense food, they are foods that are rich in vitamin, minerals, and other nutrients that are important. So these nutrients dense food, they are they are low in calories. What do I mean by calorie? Calorie is the amount of energy in the body released in the body during the breakdown, that is during metabolism, during digestion or absorption. So these nutrient dense foods, they are low in calorie. They are also low in saturated fats. If you know what saturated fats are, you will agree with me that saturated fats are actually bad. Like, too much of saturated fats are bad, because, okay, let me talk about what saturated fats are. Saturated fats, that they are fats that the fatty acid chain, they all have single bond, and too much of these saturated fats can lead to bad LDL. LDL is low density lipoprotein, and when there is too much of this when there is too much of this okay so when there is too much of this bad so when there is too much of this bad LDL in the body, it can increase the risk of heart disease or even stroke. And what are the examples of saturated fats? We have the butter, palm oil, cakes, biscuits. So they are the common examples of saturated fat. So nutrient dense food, they are low in sodium, they are also low in added sugar, because all these things, when they are too much in our food, in our daily diet, they can actually increase the risk of getting disease. Some experts actually said that nutrient dense food should be embraced as a good medicine. Alright, so common examples of nutrient dense foods. What are the common examples of nutrient dense foods that we have? You know, most of these nutrient dense food, most of them they are plant based, and you know they are not that expensive. Some of them are around us, is what we can get easily. So number one, we have the fruits and vegetables. Alright, so the picture by the left side, we have fruits and vegetables. Fruits and vegetables, they are actually rich in vitamin and minerals. They are rich in vitamin and minerals, and the most common dense nutrient dense fruit is citrus fruit. Citrus fruit, we have orange, we have we have grape, we have lime, we have lemon. So this actually, when you take more of these fruits and vegetables, examples of vegetables, we have spinach, we have onion, we have carrots. All these things, they are very important in our daily diet, because when we take when we take fruits and vegetable, it lower blood pressure, it reduce the risk of heart diseases, stroke, and also prevent some types of cancer like prostate cancer, stomach cancer, lung cancer. So in a study in Japan actually showed that, you know, people who take fruits or vegetable 3 to 4 times a week, they are less likely to disease more than those people that take it maybe twice in a week. So it is advisable you add fruits and vegetable to your daily diet. Alright, so the next one is whole grains. Whole grains. So what do I mean by whole grains? Whole grains, they are cereal or pseudo cereal that they are cereal or pseudo cereal that contain the endosperm, the germ, and the bran. The endosperm is, it supplies the germ food and is rich in carbohydrates, while we have the bran. The bran is the nutritious outer layer, and we have the germ. The germ is the seed nutrient rich in embryo. You know, these three things, they are important when you are looking for food. These three things, they are very very vital, like they are very important in in food, because when you have three of them, they you cannot compare whole grain to refined grains. There is a lot of difference, because a refined grain only contain the endosperm. And because why is it like that is because during processing, almost all these things, all the nutrients, they are processed with it. So it is okay to go for whole grains. We have different examples of whole grains. We have the whole we have oats, we have millet, we have barley, we have brown rice, we have even popcorn. Popcorn is an whole grain. So we have whole wheat. Yes, we have whole wheat. So when we take this whole grain, it reduce, or it prevents some certain types of disease. It it um lower it lower the risk of type 2 diabetes and cancer. And these whole grains, they are rich in iron, magnesium, phosphorus, selenium. Like they are rich in nutrients. Alright, so to the third one, we have the seafoods. These seafoods, examples, they are fish, they are prawns, oyster, crayfish, tilapia. So these seafood, they are rich in omega 3s, rich in iron. They are also rich in B and D vitamin. And these seafoods, they are important, especially for the younger ones, like the kids that are growing up. it is more advisable for them to take this seafood because it it helps to in the development of the brain, it helps to strengthen the bones and also helps the immune system. So we have low fat or fat free mix. So this low fat or fat, when you go for when you go out to when you go out to get your things, your provision, you should always look out for especially the fat. I said it the other time that when you have saturated fat, when you take too much of this saturated fat, it leads to bad low density lipoprotein, which can actually affect your health. It affect your health. So whenever you go out to buy this milk product or animal product, just check the fat. You need little of fat. Alright, so we have the lean meat. The lean meat, they are just meat that the fat are trimmed off already. So we have chicken, skinless chicken, because this chicken, the skin contain more of fat. So now when you want to take lean meat, like when you want to go for chicken, you can actually make it skinless. So you eat the chicken or the turkey without the skin. And alright, we have beans, we have peas, we have nuts, and we have eggs. So all dis provide vital nutrients. Okay, so to the next one. So how do we identify dis nutrient dense food? Alright, sorry about that. I would like to talk before I proceed. I would like to talk about um there's this thing. Okay, that's entomophagy. Entomophagy, yes, I would like to talk about that. It is actually, we have it in our environment, but we don't eat it. Entomophagy is actually the act of eating insects, yes. These insects, they contain more of protein that people don't even know. People don't know that these insects contain protein. And even at all stages of these insects, they are protein, like they the like all stages of these insects are rich with animal protein. And these insects even contain more crude protein than conventional meat. So what are the examples of insects that we can eat? We have the crickets, we have bottle, we have flying termites. I don't know if the Yoruba name, I think when we were growing up, there is this thing that we call that we use. I'm sorry, I'm a Yoruba, so I'll be saying that esusun. I don't know if anybody have heard that name before. So they are rich in protein and they hardly cause any harm if they are well prepared. Many of these developed countries, they've started exploring all this, although it's still a novel research. So we can we can add it to our daily diet. Alright, so I'm talking about how to identify nutrient dense food. How do we identify this nutrient dense food? The first thing we need to do, for those of us that go to the grocery to store to get our food stuff, we can look on the nutrition labels for the percentage of daily values of different nutrients and minerals. It is essential, like it is important. If our health is, they say there's this thing they say that health is wealth. You have to take care of your health first before you can do any other thing. So the first thing you need to do is, when you before you if you are even before you get any of these things, you just try to check the nutrition facts. There is no hardly will you go to a store or market or any of this packaged thing, you will always see the nutrition facts. Alright, so I have an example here. So whenever you go to store to get any of this food, you will see the nutrition fact. You have, like I said, yes, I said nutrition. There's actually this nutrient dense food. When you have nutrient dense food, there is always I said is low in calorie. So when to one of the ways to identify a nutrient dense food, they are always high in nutrients. And what are these nutrients? They are vitamin, they are minerals, they are carbohydrate, protein and all that. So when you check your nutrition facts and you say that this is there is more, like there is more calories. You know, calories, you don't need too much. Sometimes our daily intake of calorie for adults should be 2,000, for women and for men should be 22 or 22 to 25 in a day. So when you consume more of this calorie, you know, when you have too much of calorie, like you have too much of calorie in your body and you consume more of it than you use it, it can actually lead to obesity or overweight, and I'm sure you don't need that. All right, so you check out for these things, you check the nutrition fact. It is important. It's not just about eating food, it's not just about going out it's not just about going out to get food. So look at this food now, look at the nutrition facts. We have the whole wheat, the bread whole wheat, and we have the white bread. So from dis nutrition facts now, we can see the difference between the calorie. So if you are someone that don't need calorie, I think you shouldn't go for the white bread. So you can see the saturated fat, the polyunsaturated fat and cholesterol. You can see the cholesterol, the sodium, potassium, the carbohydrate, the protein and even dietary fibre, which is important. It is important. So you check out all these things: the dietary fibre, the carbohydrate, the protein, the vitamins and the minerals. So you check it out, you just check the difference between the two and you go for the best. Like I said, nutrient dense food will always have high nutrients compared to calories. Alright, so the next one is, it is a good idea to stick to all unprocessed foods which are naturally more nutrient dense. These whole foods, you know, they are being processed minimally, so these nutrients are still contained and they will, like, they are still there. So you, when you go for shopping, when you want to buy your food, you go for more of these nutrient dense foods like your whole grains, whole wheat. I know many people don't like eating. If you ask them to choose between brown rice or white rice, I'm sure many people go for the white rice, probably because of the taste. But if you I'm not saying we should not eat, I'm not saying we should not eat this refined, but at least let it be minimal. Like, let's eat more of these whole grains, fruits and vegetables and all that. Let it be more in our food, in our daily diet. All right, so the next one, how do you balance this nutrient dense food in your diet? How do you balance it in your diet? So the first thing is eating a variety of fruits and vegetables. Yes, that is important. Just because I said fruits and vegetable is important, citrus fruit is the most common dense fruit, does not mean that we should not concentrate or stick to only citrus fruit. You should explore other fruits like pineapple, eat different fruits, eat different vegetables like pineapple, apple too, they are rich in nutrients, like nutrient, so they are rich. So ensure, the important thing is for you that the important thing is to make sure you include these fruits and vegetable in your daily diet, at least 3 times or 2 times, 3 times to 4 times in a week. Alright, so the next one is choosing whole grains. I've talked about that. You make sure you go for whole grains like whole oats, wheat, because these whole grains, they are rich in dietary fibre, which helps to reduce the risk of having type 2 diabetes. They are low in sugar, they are low in sugar, fat. So this is one of the food that is really okay for our health. So we have selecting healthy sources of protein, mostly from plantain sources, legumes and nuts, you know, the beans, groundnuts and all that. We have fish or seafood, low fat or fat dietary, and lean cuts of meat. I've talked about that earlier. All right, so the next one is limiting red and processed meats, sodium, added sugar and alcohol. We should limit taking all dis red and processed meats because most of dis meat dey contain fat which is not good for our health, and added sugar, even alcohol. um so how should a balanced diet be? So this is what we have here. We have at least your if you want to take a balanced diet, you should have 60% of carbohydrate in that diet. 60% of carbohydrate. That is, you should take more of carbohydrate like sugar. Not the added sugar, like sugar. Okay, is there sugars in fruit? You know these fruits and some of these grains, they contain sugar like the carbohydrate, so they have sugar, so it's not like added sugar. We should reduce our sugar intake. All right, so we have sugar, starch, fibers that are found in fruits, grains, vegetable and milk products. So we should take 15% of legumes, cereals, white grains, nuts and seed and fruits. And lastly, we should take 25% of fats, which the avocados, cheese, dark chocolate and eggs, nuts. Okay, so how to add them to your healthy eating plan? All right, how do we add them? Like I said, you cannot switch in a day. I understand that, but you can actually try to do more of brown rice, do more of whole grain, you know is small small. All right, so you switch from white rice to brown rice. You don't want to spend your money on what will not give you nutrients. No, you don't. So you do more of brown rice. You replace sugary drinks with water, unsweetened tea or coffee. I know it's not easy. You just want to take something that is sweet, that is make you feel like. But if you consider your health first, you go for water. At least take water a lot, sweeten because all these things, one thing about this thing is that you will not start seeing the effect now. You might feel like, okay, I'm taking it doesn't even affect me, I'm still okay, I'm looking more fresh and all that, but later in the future these things will start coming out, and you don't want to reach 80 and maybe 70 or 80 and you can't even stand up to do anything again. So your health is important. So you take more of water, unsweetened tea or coffee. So for many people that likes taking pizza, alright, or sandwiches, so if you want to take them, instead of adding all these meat, cheese, all these things with fat on your pizza, you can add more of vegetables like to it. You can add it and it will still complement, at least it will still have a good taste. Alright, so you snack on crunchy vegetables or a handful of nuts. So you go for nut instead of chips, plantain chips, potato chips. I'm not saying they are not good, but at least we should reduce the reduce the intake of these things. So the last one here, you satisfy a sweet tooth with naturally sweet fruit instead of candy and cookies. Yeah, alright. Okay. So drop it breaking habits. So the first thing you do if you want to drop all these things, I know it's not easy, but to drop it, the first thing you just try to do is to start off with, try dropping just one of your, if you are the type that you like taking snacks, like you cannot do without snacks and you now want to switch to all these nutrients dense food, is not something you can do in a day. So the first thing you just do, at least drop one in a day. You just see gradually you are getting used to it, you are getting used, and make sure you always add fruits. Keep it like add it to your timetable. Always add all these things. If you are the type that you are addicted to taking drinks and this thing, just at least in a day, you can do without in a day, you will not die. So yeah, and because you are taking your health as something that is important, so it's something you should be able to do. All right, so then the next one is your list should help guide you to only the eye you need and help avoid those snacky foods. So what do I mean by this is that, when you go for shopping or when you go to the market to get things, you already have the list. You already, okay, I'm going to buy fruits today, I'm going to buy millet, I'm going to buy oats today, I'm going for all these things. So when you have the list already, you already budget that no matter what, I'm not branching or these snacks that used to attract me, you don't even have the money. At least it will help you save your money because it's not in your list. So you go for all these things. So that's one of the ways that you can actually discipline yourself from eating these snacks, which they are high, there's this sugar added to it already and you don't want that. All right, so the next one is keep crisps and biscuits in the cupboard, or even better, don't buy them. Don't just buy them, don't buy them. So all right, so the last one here is a lot of the time when we snack. Okay, so the last one here, you can do something different. Most of the times when you take these snacks is when you are bored, when there is nothing to, or maybe probably when you are working and you just need your mouth to be busy. So instead of that, just try to get fruits. Make sure that fruits, they are close by, that you can actually stretch your hand and get. So it is important. All right, so to the next one. All right, so we have different pictures. 50% of sugar we consume comes from discretionary food. What are discretionary food? They are these discretionary foods, they are foods that are high in energy, but they are low in vitamins and minerals. So what's the essence of taking these foods without even giving you nutrients? So without doing anything to your body, what's the essence of taking what will actually take you to the hospital to start treating yourself when you can actually avoid it? So this discretionary, look at it, 50% of sugar we consume comes from discretionary foods, and these discretionary foods, they can increase the risk of obesity. Of course it will. They will increase the risk of obesity, even cancer and stroke. So we don't need that. So 20% of all calories and fats we eat come from discretionary food, and 23 22 sorry, that is points, not comma. 22.3% of sugar intake come from sugary drinks. Okay, so eat well guide. This is what you need to do. Eat at least 5 portions of a variety of fruits and vegetable every day, at least. Alright, even because dis fruit is not like they are really expensive. Even if other things are expensive in the country I am, maybe Nigeria or dis thing, you should, like, at least fruits are still okay that we can still afford to buy. So let's go for more of dis. At least eat at least 5 portions. Sometimes when I feel weak or I'm feeling ill kind of, dis is what I do sometimes. I just try to get fruits, eat it, then sleep, and when I wake up I'm okay. It works for me, and you can try it too. It works for me. So you eat at least five. Just make sure that it is included in your daily diet, especially the fruits. Alright, so the next one is eat more beans and pulses. Many people don't like beans, but it is important that we eat these some of these things to provide us energy. And if you don't like beans, you can, there are alternatives that you can go for, pulses like nuts, groundnuts. You have other things, but just make sure that it is included in your daily diet. All right, so at least eat portions of fish per week, and eat less red and processed meats. Many of the meats we buy in the market, they are processed, they are red meat, and they contain fats. So choose whole grain or higher fiber version with less added fats and salt and sugar. So choose unsaturated oils and use it in small amount. You some people you don't want to cook, if you not put oil and let the oil be swimming in your pot, you are not satisfied. Eat less of this oil. And I'm not trying to discourage the this oil. When we go to the market, there's some oil that they are packaged in these all these containers, like all these water bottle containers. Almost all those oils, they contain saturated fats. And I said it, that too much of this saturated fat, you know what it will lead to in the body. So I'm sure you don't need that. So when you buy oil, especially when you buy oil, something like Mamado, olive oil, all this type of oil, when you just, there will always be nutrition facts written on the pack or on the bottle. Just try to check for unsaturated fat, so you eat more of unsaturated fat to saturated fat. And also choose lower fat and lower sugar options. So conclusion, so by choosing more of this nutrient dense food, you will get the beneficial nutrient your body needs without consuming too many calories. So you need to go, there is no how, you just need to go for more of this nutrient dense food. You need to eat them. You need to even introduce this food to your family, to your friends, and others. So you take more of this nutrient dense food, then focus on your overall eating pattern. Focus on it. So rather than individual nutrients or specific food or food groups. So because I said these so alright, because I said the this particular food that I mentioned here, that they are important, their nutrient, does not mean that we should now concentrate more of our energy to eating only one particular kind of food. Let's like change, have variety of fruits, have variety of fruit, like just explore, have, but should be within this nutrient dense food. All right. Thank you for listening. Thank you so much. If you have any question, you can just put in the comment section. I'll check and answer. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much for that session, Miss Damilola. Thank you so so much. Thank you so so much. I trust that she has been able to break our communication down so much so for each and every one of us to understand. And even myself, while she was speaking, I picked certain things that I'm taking as my own take home for personal, to assess personally and make more research and findings about it. So right now we are moving on yet again to the first session that we ought to have before Miss Damilola came on board, and that is the significance of nutrition and health. So we are bringing back on board Miss Damilola. But before we move further, Can I get feedback from everyone as regards the just completed session before Miss Temitokwe picks up our own communication? So can we, let me check on my phone. Let me see the comment section. Okay, live chat. Wow. Bisola Ojediran says, I learned a lot. And I'm seeing someone saying it takes determination. Thank you. Thank you. Festus Oladoja, I say, well done, I'm learning. Thank you. I'm glad you are. Thank you. Okay, so now I think we can move forward. Please do well if you have your friends who you know registered for this webinar and they are yet to join. Please chat them up, send them a DM, let them know it's live already. Tell them to check their mails. The link is on their mail. Ask them to join this session right away. Tell every one of them to join this session. They shouldn't miss it. We are moving forward, and all right, let's just move on. Thank you. So, Miss Temitokwe, can you speak to everyone now?
Yeah, thank you for having me, sir. I'm so grateful.
All right, thank you. We are glad that we have you
Am I
now.
audible now?
So, yes, you are. I can hear you. Welcome. All right, ma. So we are moving on to
Well,
the
as we are,
section significance of nutrition and health. And I'm trusting that you are going to enjoy this session as well, as it's going to be very, very much educative. Thank you very much. Mr. Mtoko, you can pick it up, ma.
thank you very much, sir. Thank you for giving me this great privilege to be one of the facilitators of the Food Legends National Webinar of the year 2022. I do not take it for granted, and I'm also indebted to every member of the organization. Thank you for trusting me to take this. So fast forward to what we all have been expecting. I'm Olapade Temitope Praise by name, and I'll be taking the section tagged emphasizing the importance of nutrition and health. Please, I would love anyone to drop a comment to know if we are on the same page. I need someone to drop comments. Let me know if you are hearing me. Thank you, Festus Oladoja. All right, I think I'm audible. So, like I said earlier, I'll be speaking on emphasizing the importance of nutrition and health. Do you know, to emphasize something, that means such a thing has an importance? And you will agree with me that when you don't know the importance of something, abuse is inevitable. So in these few minutes that I have to spend here, I'll be speaking on the importance of nutrition and health. And it will be of added advantage if you actually know what the nutrition itself entails. That will give us a more comprehensive knowledge about it. So I'll start with nutrition is the sum of the processes involved in taking food nutrients, assimilating and utilizing them to promote good health, prevent diseases, and prolong life and efficiency. I read again. Nutrition is the sum of the processes. That means the total sum of the processes, like Sarotimi defined for the other time. There are food that are every substance that we eat for nourishment and at times for refreshment. But the main purpose of eating food is for nourishment. So definitely not telling us that nutrition is the sum of the processes involved in taking in food nutrients. Not only taking it now, taking them in through the mouth, through the esophagus, to the intestines, the anus, and all those areas. Not only doing that, but utilizing them to promote good health. And when they say utilize, what does utilize mean? It means making good use of something. You would agree with me that the way God has programmed our body system, When we take in these foods, it has been programmed in ways that each system knows how to utilize the nutrients received. If the system does not utilize the nutrients received in a judicious manner, it means something is wrong with the body system. But when all conditions are met, the body utilizes the nutrients we take into our body system. That tells us that if the body utilizes the nutrients taken in our body system, then we need to be very careful of what we take in. Because if we take in bad nutrients as well, the body will as well utilize them, but it might not be to the advantage of our own health. So we have to know this, it can guide us a lot. Knowing fully that body system utilizes every nutrient that comes in. Either you take it in good proportion or in bad proportion. And the body will, just like we are taking exams, the body will give accurate results of whatever we taking as well. We all have been hearing that the body system can never be cheated, and it's very, very true. You have what you take in. It's that simple. So the body utilizes them to promote good health. So why is the body utilizing them? To promote good health, to prevent diseases, and to prolong life and efficiency. Nutrition is important, not just for us to eat food alone, but to prolong life and efficiency. Madam Nana was saying something when she was speaking. She said you have to be conscious of what you eat now, not because of now alone, but because of the old age. You wouldn't want, she started an example of a 70-year-old person, but 70 years old has even tried. You wouldn't want to get to 40 years and you start experiencing what a 90-year-old person should experience. Are we getting it? So if we don't actually want problems for ourselves, then this is the right time to take actions on what we eat. We can also say nutrition is the process of absorbing nutrients from food and processing them in the body to keep it healthy. It could also mean that nutrition is the study of nutrients in relations to their excesses, less intake, reduction of food, absorption of the end products, and their utilization in the body. So this is tell us that we have to be very conscious of what we eat in the body. Salotimi has laid emphasis on the nutrients we have, their categories, the macronutrient and the micronutrients. So I don't think I need to venture into that again. And we also need to understand that we need to understand basically what the food we eat does to our body system. Good health is achieved by eating the right kind amount of foods at the same time, at all time rather. It is also observed that good food, good life, and good health leads to high productivity. This is telling us that when we take the type of food we have to take in the right proportion, then we ourselves will enjoy our life. So the same way we are concerned about every other aspect of our life, is the same way we should also be concerned with the type of food we take in. Madam Nola has laid emphasis on the best type of food to take into our body system. She laid emphasis on the nutrition dense foods. So let's move to the significance of nutrition. So what are the significance of nutrition? I'll be laying emphasis on about probably 5 of them here. Nutrition helps to know the composition of food and their proportion. You could remember when Sarutimi was talking, and I mean probably Mama Dami, saying in the quantity of food we eat to our body, at least that's to ask about 60% carbohydrate. We have to understand even the classes of food that we have, the carbohydrate, the protein, the fat and oil, the vitamins and minerals. And as Sarah said that because they said something is micro doesn't mean does not mean it is less important. No. It only means you just need little of it to make an effect in the body system. That is, you do not need to consume and consume and consume before the body can feel its importance. So nutrition helps us to know the composition of food and their proportion. That is, it helps us to know what is in the food that we eat. Nutrition gives detailed set of information on the important component of food and provide values for energy and nutrition, including protein, carbohydrate, fats, vitamins, and minerals, and such as fibers. And we will have known that fibers is a class is a part of nutrition that we do not need to take with negligence and especially those that want to cut their weight, because fiber itself it prevents degenerative diseases. And what fiber does to our body is that even when you take fiber, it doesn't allow you to eat in excesses because it's kind of uh, retard the rate at which food quickly digests. And if you're getting it, and the best way to prevent obesity is ensuring that you eat in the morning. When you eat in the morning, there is this way your body feels satisfied and doesn't crave for the unnecessary things. This is when you don't take the right proportion of food in the morning. That's when you go hungry and you just eat anything your hand can find. That time you're not even concerned about is this food even beneficial to my body? You're not even concerned about that. Because at the moment the stomach is really shouting, please eat though before I show you pepper. I don't know if you're getting it. So one of the ways to stay healthy and to be on a good nutritional track is ensuring we eat at the right time. Not only in the morning, when you know the afternoon that sets in, you eat at the afternoon, and when it's time for lunch again, you eat for lunch. When we eat at the right time, it doesn't it gives us less room of thinking, of eating, or let me say of eating things that are not of importance to our body system. Because when we feel hungry, we are not even concerned about what the food will do to our body. What we are concerned about at that moment is how will I just feel relieved a bit of this hunger. So we need to take we have to be very careful about when we eat. We should ensure we eat at the right time. Take your breakfast if you're a student. Even when you take breakfast as a student, when you go to class, it enables you to assimilate easily things taught in class. And to every other person, probably a working class or so, when you take breakfast, it enables you to carry out the daily activities on time. So let's move to the another importance of nutrition, which says it helps to know the quantity of food needed by the body. Since we have known that nutrition is the sum of the processes involved in taking food into our body system, then this will enable us to know the quantity of food needed by the body, because the nutrients we take into our body, they meet two characteristics. And the first is that omitting nutrients from diet leads to a nutritional deficiency and a decline in some aspects of the health. And this will make me to say that in as much that I know the situation of the country is everyone is trying to manage him or herself, but at the same time, we shouldn't cut in the good foods we should eat. And you agree with me that eating good food again these days is not too expensive if you know how to cut your costs. Are we getting it? It's not until we eat a particular type of food, probably an extremely expensive food, that's when we are eating. No. There are many other foods around us that we can lay hands on. Vegetables, even some have it at their backyard that you can just go there and make use of. Because nutrition meets two categories. The first one is omitting the nutrients from the diet leads to a nutritional deficiency and a decline in some aspect of the earth. Also, the reason why nutrition is important is that if omitted nutrient is put back into the diet, the symptoms of the nutritional deficiency will decline. It will be as if the person has not even experienced any kind of nutritional deficiency. The individual will return to normal, bearing any permanent damage caused by its absence. This tells us that nutrition helps us know that perhaps you have been on the wrong track. Once you admit that you have been on the wrong track and you are ready to take the necessary steps, nutrition is telling us that you can go back to the earlier stage of your life so that you don't give up on your body system, so that I have had this kind of element in the past, then I'm into it for life. No. Nutrition is telling us that if an individual who has suffered from a nutritional deficiency is back on his right track, consuming the right amount of food, then such individual will return to normal, not bearing any permanent change caused by its absence. Another importance of nutrition is that it helps us to reduce the rate of malnutrition, micronutrient deficiencies, and diet-related disease. Now, the study of nutrition will help us know the diseases and conditions that are dietary, such as malnutrition, obesity, micronutrient deficiency, etc. And the knowledge of this help the prevention of these diseases. It also helps us determine through its studies. Hence, there will be reduction in the rate of occurrences. Nutrition also educates us on diet combination and reduction in the rate of ignorance of food selection. Eating the appropriate food combination does not only help us improve digestion, it also increase energy, regulate elimination, and help relieve depression, anxiety, and mood swings. It increase physical energies means more vitality, clarity, and focus on all areas of life. So different foods, they have different digestion times and require different digestive enzymes. So therefore, eating too many kind of food at once might lead to difficulty in digestion. This reminds me of a particular time I hosted someone. So the person is like my nephew. So not knowing that the person has eaten from their house. So probably because I love babies a lot. So when she came to my place, I offered her my own food without first knowing the type of food the person has consumed before coming to my place. So when I offered the person my own type of food, the next thing is that it led to food poisoning. So that the person has to be on drugs and injection for a while before the person gets back. So this tells us that you don't just eat food anyhow. We have to know the right diet combination of food and the food selection. And the last importance I'll be discussing today is that nutrition help the prevention of food adulteration. As we all know that adulteration is just the addition of a non-food item to increase the quantity of food item in the raw form or prepared form. But some people will think, when I add this to this thing, I will make more sales. But when we understand that nutrition is just not eating anything that your hand can find, but being very careful, being conscious of what you eat inside, then it will really reduce the extent at which people are adulterating, because those adulteration might damage our body systems. So when we understand nutrition, we won't adulterate food. I don't know if I'm getting it. So let me first move to the conclusion aspect of today's class. We have to know that food alone is not the key to a longer and healthier life. In as much we say, let us eat. Let us eat at the right time. Eat your breakfast, eat your lunch, eat your dinner. Don't adulterate food. Eat the right combination of food. This telling us that food alone is not the key to a longer and healthier life. Good nutrition should be part of an overall healthy lifestyle. And what are these overall healthy lifestyles? It includes regular exercise, not smoking or drinking alcohol excessively, stress management, and limiting exposures to environmental hazards. Because when we are obeying all these nutrition rules, at the same time, we are not maintaining all these healthy lifestyles, such as taking regular exercise, you are taking good nutrition to your body system, and you are still smoking. The same way you are taking good food, it's like you added something and are still subtracting it again. That's just the way it is. So we have to understand that smoking, in fact, is a no, 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 no. And we have to minimally stress ourselves, and we should limit our exposure to environmental hazard. And we should also know that no amount of how well we eat, our genes plays a big part in our risk for certain health problems. This tells us that we should know our health status. In as much some diseases are just hereditary, they are generational. But when we go for tests, this helps us to know the generational disease we might have inherited, and it helps us to be on the track such that we can minimize the effect of those diseases on our life and live a good and healthy life. Because the fact is that diseases can be managed if they can be discovered very early. Diseases, they can be managed if they can be discovered very early. What leads to people for diseases to go extreme is when people discover this very, very late. Probably at that time, it must have damaged the body system, and there might not be a solution at that point. But when we are able to know that probably a particular individual is suffering this kind of ailment, probably it's generational or so, when we tackle it on time, at least we can manage it and live successfully. But people might not even know that we are suffering from those kind of ailments. So we shouldn't joke with our health status. We should always visit hospital for regular checkups. Let's check. I was speaking to someone yesterday. We were talking about checkups and the like. Person was saying it's a waste of money. It's not a waste of money, please. We don't care the amount we spend on our clothes, on our phones, and the likes. But when it comes to our health, we do not take it as paramount as we take other things. And don't forget that it is a person who is healthy. It is that person that will be able to carry out other essential life activities. Someone who is sick will not even think of carrying out any activity rather than praying that God heal me from this illness. So please, you take our health very serious. Let's know our health status. Let us visit hospitals regularly for checkups. And we should not underestimate the influence of how and what we eat. Do not underestimate the influence of how and what you eat. Know that you have the result of whatever you eat, and what you eat is what you have. I will stop on this note. Thank you so much for having me. Bye bye.
straight to the point, and it was very, very much educative. Thank you so much for that, ma'am. I want to chip in something based on the communication that Mr. Mtokwe and Ms. Damilola have had with us, and that is this aspect. You see, when it comes to good nutrition, when it comes to eating well, there is this understanding that most people have that I kind of think is wrong and should be corrected. A number of times I've been invited for speaking engagements as regards nutrition and all the likes. And one question I've been asked frequently at about the last two places I've spoken about nutrition, one question that has remained in those places is the question, uh, what if I don't have much? What if I don't have, I'm not a very rich person when it comes to finances? How then do I eat well? And from that, I actually discovered that the people actually have a kind of wrong mindset about nutrition because they think that nutrition is all about, I need to have millions in my bank account. No, listen, when I started out earlier on, I told us that there are two phases of malnutrition. You can be undernourished or you can even be overnourished. Now, what's the point I'm trying to stress out in that? Being well nourished or having good nutrition is not a function of money, it's a function of knowledge. It's a function of how much you know about nutrition. And Mr. Mitokwe stressed something the other time. She was like, you need to be so intentional about your health. You need to be so intentional about your nutrition, not because of now, because now you can say, oh, I'm very young, I'm agile, I'm strong, and I can do all things. You get that kind of a thing, and you get up early in the morning and you are all strong and fit, you are good to go, but then you are eating very poorly, you don't engage in exercise, you don't drink lots of water, and all of those bad habits, and you have everything. You see, the problem is that when you clock 50, when you clock 60, when you begin to grow older and your body system, your immune system is no longer as strong as it has always been, that's when the repercussion of these things now begin to backfire. So eating well is not a function of having millions in your bank account. Eating well is a function of what do you know about foods. What do you know about food? Another thing I really need to also take note of is this. When you know enough about nutrition, it will not just bless you alone. It will not just make you intentionally lead a healthy life alone. It would as well impact every single person in your sphere, every single person in your circle. Am I making some sense? You see, there are some foods that I personally, at some point, I had to say, no, this food, no, is no longer, I don't take this anymore. I don't take this anymore. And my family members kind of noticed it. Now, it doesn't mean that they also stopped taking it. They didn't stop taking it, but something happened. For the fact that they know that I've decided to stop taking this food, it kind of controls them whenever they want to take it. It gives them a limitation. Oh, this food is not so healthy. So even when they take it, they don't take much. Do you get the point I'm trying to communicate now? So when you have enough knowledge about nutrition, it's going to have a direct effect on your immediate circle. Your children will benefit from it. You can't be well nourished and you have a good knowledge about nutrition, and your children now start telling you that junks is what they want to eat. You kind of caution them and say, no, this is not best for you. You can't be taking junks. I need you to lead a healthy life. I want you to also live long and to live well. Do we get the point now? So firstly, eating well or having a healthy nutrition is not about having millions in your bank account. There are foods within your vicinity. There are foods that are very cheap to afford, that are very easy to access, and yet they are very, very, very rich. So I'm going to pause on this note, and I would allow us move to the next session, and which ought to be the second session initially, and that is the session on nutraceuticals and nutritional supplement. So what's nutraceuticals? Now, let me have somebody. You remember the term pharmaceuticals? You know what pharmaceuticals mean, right? You know what pharmaceutical mean. When they say someone is a pharmacist, it means that person deals with what. So that's where I think from there you can now begin to connect the dots, right? All right, let me not do the session. So we have the facilitator for the second session. She's going to be ready and fit for us. Please let me check up on her and be sure that she's set for us.
Good day, everyone. Sorry, if you can hear me, please let me see your comment in the comment section. Good day, everyone. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, my name is Faiza Jumoke Abdulhamid, and I'll be taking you through nutraceutical and nutritional supplements. So, next. Oh, in the recent years, a new diet is being evolved which place emphasis on diet and nutrition. The new lifestyle adopted by the people of today, that is you and I, has changed the basis of food of the old ones. Consumptions of foods has increased, like junk foods such as pizza, snacks, they have increased, which led to the number of some diseases caused by improper nutrition. Obesity is now a global issue. Heart disease is even the primary causes of death in most developing countries, of which Nigeria is part of it, followed by cancer, osteoporosis, arthritis. Consumers are now frustrated with taking too much of drugs, high-tech technology such as X-ray, going through a lot of disease treatments. Approach in the modern medicines are now being taken approved. So people are now seeking complementary and alternative beneficial products from foods and herb products, of which makes nutraceuticals more appealing. That is where this quote comes from. This quote was done, it was quoted by Hippocrates around as at 2,500 years ago. So this quote, let food be the medicine shall be the food, is now certainly the belief of today. Next. Next, please. Next, please. So the history of nutraceutical was coined from the word nutrition and pharmaceutical in 1989 by Dr. Stephen DeFelice. He's a physician who founded the Foundation of Innovation in Medicine in the US. Dr. DeFelice defined nutraceutical as any food or part of a food that provides medical or health benefits, including the prevention and treatment of diseases. Next. So people have mixed functional food and nutraceutical to be synonymous. They consider them to be synonymous, but there are difference between functional food and nutraceuticals. You know, when you said ginger is medicinal, you take ginger with drinks, you soak ginger in water, you brew ginger in hot water, thinking that okay, this thing is medicinal. What you are doing is you are taking functional foods, not nutraceuticals. It might work for the health and it might not. So functional foods are natural foods that contains bioactive compounds and they are not in dosage form. But people misplace functional foods to be nutraceutical. Examples of functional foods are orange flesh sweet potato that contains beta-carotene, which is a precursor of vitamin A. So people take orange flesh sweet potato very well for vitamin A deficiency. Also an apple. When we say an apple keeps the doctor away, because apple contains a lot of bioactive compounds such as quercetin, vitamin A's, which are antioxidant, anti-inflammatory. They help prevent colon cancer and many other diseases. That is why apple has a lot of bioactive compounds. So we also have beetroot. Beetroot has vitamine and carotene. All these are not in dosage form. They are in food. They might be available and they might not be available. But nutraceuticals are in forms of tablets, capsules, and powder. Next. So Nutraceuticals are health-promoting compounds or products that contain modified foods or they are being extracted from food source and they are generally sold in forms of medicals in medicines or pill. Next. So we have nutritional supplements now. The difference between nutritional supplements and nutraceuticals is that nutritional supplements are the nutritional compound that supplements one's daily intake. That is your recommendation, your recommended daily intake. This nutritional supplement does it. It contains vitamins and minerals, but may not necessarily contain herbal products or zoochemicals or probiotic. That is, nutritional supplement may not necessarily prevent health, may not necessarily have health benefits and may not necessarily prevent diseases. So that is the difference between nutritional supplements and nutraceuticals. Next, please. Next, please. So we have we have nutraceuticals and nutritional supplements. Examples of nutraceuticals and nutritional supplements are dietary supplements. Both of them are dietary supplements. So they are used. We have isoflavones. Isoflavones is extracted from soybean and they are used in please the previous slide. They are extracted from they are used in hormone replacement in women for therapy. We have fish oil too, which is cod liver oil that contains omega-3 acid. We have vitamin C, which is an ascorbic tablet. Next. We have protein powder. This protein powder can be used in anti-hypertensive pills. Probiotic yogurt, it is used for gastrointestinal disorder. Then this green coffee bean used for weight loss and many other things. As you can see, these are the examples of nutraceuticals and nutritional supplements we have. Next. So classification of nutraceuticals are based on tradition and non-traditional. We have the traditionals, and these are natural nutraceuticals. For example, in chemical constituents, we have the nutrient one, which helps in prevention of metabolic diseases, such as flax seeds and salmon fish. These things contains DHA, omega-3 fatty acid, that is used for inflammatory processes. They reduce cholesterol, brains and nerves functions. Next. We also have the herbal one. This is used in treatment of chronic and acute disease. For example, we have peppermint. Peppermint is used in producing all these long lozenges we use for throats because they contain menthol. So they use in prepare. We have shelters in Nigeria. Shelters. We have Pector. They contain peppermint, so which are medicinal for cold and flu. We also have lavender leaf. Lavender leaves contain tannin, which helps in curing depression. Yes, it improves your mood. It reduces stress. And we also have parsley. This parsley is used for antidiuretics and antipyretic. That is to reduce fever. When you have fever, you take parsley leaf, boil it. That's another examples of nutraceuticals. So phytochemicals, the non-nutritive parts of plants with defensive or disease prevention capability, like the carotenoids in fruits and vegetables such as pineapple, pawpaw, to help boost immune system. Then the phenolic compounds in blueberry, tomatoes, lycopene is in tomatoes, pepper, have antioxidant activities. Next. So we have the one of probiotics. These are live bacteria that are used to produce the nutraceuticals products that provides health benefits. So these are used in gastrointestinal disorder. I showed you one you got the other time. This is an example of probiotic because they added a bifidobacteria and a lactobacilli into the probiotic yogurt to reduce lactose intolerance, acute diarrhea, antibiotic-related gastrointestinal side effects. Next. So then we have nutraceutical enzymes. Yes, we have nutraceuticals enzyme. As you all know that enzymes are essential components of life. Yes, enzymes supplement to the diet. They are obtained from microbial, plant and animal sources. And these nutritional enzymes are used in treatment of hypoglycemia. That is when you have low blood sugar abnormalities to correct your blood sugar, to use that, and obesity to decrease to decrease the weight, to reduce the weight. Then lactose intolerance. So we use lactate supplement. This is the picture of a lactate supplement. If you have lactose intolerance that you can't take milk, you can take this lactate supplement. You can be taking them, then you won't have any issue with milk. The next. So non-traditional nutraceuticals, artificial food prepared with biotechnology such as calcium fortified orange juice, vitamins and mineral fortified cereals, and such as we have cornflakes. They added minerals and vitamins to them. We have a folic acid fortified flour, yes, for special diet people. Yes, folic acid fortified flour for those that have some diseases. So all these are nutraceuticals produced by the food industries. So fortified nutraceuticals, we have fortified nutraceuticals examples. We have milk fortified with calciferol, which is vitamin D deficiency. Then we also have this energy drink. We all own energy drink. We have different types of energy drink here in Nigeria, and they contain taurine. Taurine is a bioactive compound that improves the nerves and the brains. So it improves the nerves and the brain. So taurine is used by sportsmen too. And we have a glucose D too. All these things are done artificially. The next one, please. Next slide. So recombinant nutraceuticals. Biotechnology techniques have been used to employ fermentation process in cheese and bread. We use yeast, Saccharomyces cerevisiae. All these are medicinal. The yeast extracted to produce bread are nutraceuticals. They are medicinal, even apart from using them for bread. Next, please. Next. So these are the classifications of nutraceuticals based on their source. Next, please. So classifications of nutraceuticals based on chemical components, such as the carotenoid. In carotenoids, we have lycopene. They can be found in tomato, carrot, potato, and their potential benefits are antioxidants, prostrate health, protect the eyes. We also have a dietary fibers. This can be found in legumes, oats, fruits, whole grains. This reduces anti-colon cancer, helps in maintaining digestive tract. Fatty acid, which is omega-3 fatty acid and monosaturated fatty acid, salmon and flaxseed. This helps in brain function, reduce cholesterol disposition. Also, we have minerals. Thousands of minerals are nutraceuticals and nutritional supplements such as selenium, potassium, zinc, calcium, magnesium, copper. They are found in food and they are important constituents of diet. The other facilitators has talked about micronutrients the other time. So these are part of micronutrients. Then we have polyphenols. Polyphenols such as flavones, flavonols, and anthocyanin. They are found in fruits and vegetables. They lower the cholesterol level, blood sugar level, and prevent the therapy for COVID-19 patients. During the COVID-19 patients, all these were introduced, like a turmeric food, ginger-produced food. Also, probiotics and prebiotics such as lactobacillus, bifidobacteria, yogurt. We have that yogurt here, probiotic yogurt. They are non-sweetening. They have active bacteria. So they improve the gut health, and improve the immune system. Next, please. So carbohydrates like polyols, xylitol, fruits, and oligosaccharide, they are found in fruits and shrimps and crabs. We have glucosamine. A lot of people take glucosamine tablets here, not knowing that they are not pharmaceutical products. They are nutraceuticals. Glucosamine is used to strengthen the joints. When you have any dislocation in the body, doctor refer you to glucosamine. They are part of nutraceuticals. and they are extracted from shrimp, the skin of shrimps and crabs. So they reduce the risk of dental caries, they strengthen the joints. So we have sulfite too, which is found in cruciferous vegetable. Examples of cruciferous vegetables are cabbage. So this may contribute to maintenance of healthy immune function. For the next, nutraceuticals and health. In this case, I've already considered nutraceutical as part of nutritional supplement, and they might not be, because nutritional supplement might not necessarily solve health issues. So the research has been shown, several research has done on nutraceuticals, like a randomized control trial, clinical studies have done. So there is polyphenol. We have grape. Grape contain resveratrol. Resveratrol prevents and arthritis disease of food, such as cheese and bread. Also flavonoids. Flavonoids in onion, vegetable, grapes, red wine, apples, and cherries. They strengthen the tiny capillary of the arteries that carry the oxygens. So dietary fibers, vitamins, minerals, and omega-3 fatty acids. All these reduce the cardiovascular diseases that we have. Next, please. Diabetes. So research has also shown that nutraceuticals and nutritional supplements solves health issues in diabetes, like the ethyl, the omega-3 fatty acid, which is beneficial in diabetic patients. Dietary fiber from psyllium leaf has been used for glucose control in diabetic patients and to reduce lipid level in hyperlipidemia, that is high lipid in the blood, high blood lipid. So docosahexaenoic acid, DHA, also part of fatty acid that modulates insulin resistance and neurovisual development. Lipoic acid for treatment of diabetic neuropathy. The next place. So obesity. Herbal stimulants such as ephedrine, caffeine, and green tea helps in body weight loss. Fenugreek seed and vitamin C is also a dietary supplement to reduce weight. Next, please. As for the cancer, several flavonoids blocks enzymes that produce estrogen and reduce the estrogen-induced cancers. Flavonoids can be found in soybean, that is plant seed, can be found in soybean, can be found in several leaves and vegetables, and fruits and vegetables as well. So all these fruits and vegetables reduces cancer rates. When you have the WHO recommended the portions of fruits and vegetables to be 5 portion. So lycopene concentrates in the skin, testes, adrenals, and prostate. Lycopene is found in tomato. So tomato is good and it protects against prostate cancer, adrenal, testes, and skin cancers. So soy food sources of isoflavones, curcumin from curry, or curcumin can be found in curry and soya isoflavone and soya too. So they possess cancer chemopreventive properties too. The next one. Alzheimer's diseases, beta carotene, curcumin, lutein. Lutein reduces the rate for eyes diseases, and lycopene too from tomato may exert positive effects on specific disease by neutralizing the negative effects of oxidative stress and various forms of neural degeneration. Next. Parkinson disease. Vitamin E is some nuts and seeds are very rich in vitamin E. So Parkinson diseases, someone that have Parkinson disease can invest in nut and seed products, especially plants, nut and seed products. So creatine modifies Parkinson diseases and determined by the decline in the clinical signs. Research have been shown that it does. Next, please. Next. So the importance of nutraceuticals and nutritional supplements for nourishment. They nourish your body. They gives you good looking nourishment. So they also delay aging. You don't want to be 25 and look 40, right? So you have to invest in nutraceutical, not because they are expensive, not they are not expensive at all. Like you don't want to look 40 when you are 25. No. So these nutraceuticals and nutritional supplements delay aging. They also prevent chronic disease, support structure and function of the body. So there are problems. Next, please. There are problems associated with nutraceuticals and nutritional supplements. Before you buy nutraceuticals and nutritional supplements, please read the components, read the pack, read the. In fact, I will even advise that you seek dietitians and doctors prescription before you get a nutraceuticals and nutritional supplement. So identification, there are many problems associated with this. So identification of authentic source of raw materials. For example, we have different ginseng. We have Malaysian ginseng, Korean ginseng, Brazilian ginseng, California ginseng, of which none of these are part of genus Panas, which is the real ginseng. And many people take ginseng, they feel like ginseng is medicinal, it is medicinal, which is a part of nutraceutical too. So there are problems in identifying the source of these raw materials. Another thing is the purity of the compound. Most of these nutraceuticals are not produced in the good manufacturing practice areas and thereby prone to contaminations from such as physical contaminations like lead and also pathogens too that can cause food poisoning. The presence of other active compounds. We have people who want to enlarge breast, they want to enlarge buttock, they want to reduce the weight. Some people need bodybuilding, but some of these nutraceuticals, some active compounds that are not part of the compounds that have been added to it. So these are the problems you are having with nutraceuticals and nutritional supplements. So before you buy anyone, please look at you can go online and search for a particular nutraceutical that your doctor refers you to and check the components used in making them, please. In fact, if you can do that by checking the functions of each compound used in producing that product. So lack of quality and experimental evidence, like they're different randomized. Nutraceuticals are not necessarily to pass through randomized trial before they can be sold in the market. No, not like pharmaceuticals products. They cannot. You can just pass nutraceuticals once you discover that they are active, just like our energy drink. Nobody will tell you that energy drink has been passed through a randomized control. No, just know that people take energy drink and they believe it works. So lack of quality and experimental evidence. I know people that takes Fearless here in Nigeria, like they take Fearless almost every day and they believe it works for them. So they believe it works for them. So lack of quality and experimental research. That's the problem we're having with nutraceuticals and nutritional supplements. So next please. The conclusion, nutraceuticals and nutritional supplements are better known as dietary supplements, and there should be promotion of these supplements other than the food we eat to meet the daily intake. You know, you don't want to start using a lot of drugs, but nutraceutical will help you, and the nutritional supplement too will help supply some vitamins to the food you take, because you don't even know if the food you eat is bioavailable, because we have a lot of issues with the food we consume. Bioavailability. If you see that you've taken ginger that has a lot of bioactive compounds, or you've taken apple, a fruit, are you sure they are bioavailable in your body? What about the other food component that you ate, the complementary food that you ate together? What is the reaction occurring in your body? So taking these nutraceuticals, they go into the bloodstream directly. You can see a sportsman be given glucose D. Immediately they give them the glucose D, they start running. So it's because this nutraceutical works better than the normal food we eat. We also have antagonists of vitamins. We have some foods that when you eat them, they prevent some vitamins in food to work. So nutraceuticals and nutritional supplements will go straight to the bloodstream without reacting with any food or any other thing. So there should be promotions of these supplements other than the food we eat to meet the daily intake, to increase the life expectancy, to reduce the rate of non-communicable diseases such as diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and cancer. Now, a 25-year-old girl now is having a cardiovascular diseases, something that I believe that is old people that normally have, like my grandma, who is hypertensive, who have a, I believe they are they are for old people. So please let's take care of our health. You can start by investing in nutraceuticals and nutritional supplements from now on. Thanks. So if you have any question, please let me know in the comment section. Thank you for having me.
Wow, wow, wow. That was an awesome session. Very, very awesome one. Please, can we all hear me? Am I audible? Please let me know in the comment section below. Let me know if you can hear me. I want to be sure that I'm not speaking to myself. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. So that was really awesome and fantastic. I took note of a lot of things, and the few things that I saw as emphasis, I had to, drop them in the comment section. I was making sure I was engaging as well. And I trust that everyone who was following, or everyone who followed rather, actually got something spectacular from that discussion. Yeah, there is this emphasis that she made. There was this statement she made rather that I want to emphasize a little bit more. Um, she told us that when it comes to taking nutraceuticals, that we should always pay attention to labels and pay attention to doctor's prescription. So don't just say that because it's nutraceuticals, I just anywhere I want to get it and just take it how I like. No, 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 no. Pay attention to labels. That's if you are knowledgeable enough to interpret the labels. If you are not knowledgeable enough to interpret the labels properly, then pay attention to a doctor's prescription. Do we understand that? I believe we've already dealt with the fact of overnutrition. So sometimes when you take excess of these things, it can actually backfire as well. So always pay attention to that. Pay attention to the labels, pay attention to the doctor's prescription. That is very, very important. Yeah, we are moving on to the question and answer session. and I want us to start preparing our questions. Just drop them in the comment section. We'll pick them. So as we are doing that, I want to take our time to acknowledge a number of people. Yes, you are seeing this webinar going on smoothly. You are enjoying the flow. You are gaining. You are learning. I want you to know that there are many people working behind the scene to make this work, and we cannot but appreciate them. Yes, we cannot but appreciate them. The person working behind the scene as regards making this to be live right now is Olawale Michael, and he has been at work. I mean, since the beginning of the week, and it's been an amazing one. You can enjoy what you are having right now. We have Kikelo Momotosho, who worked with us as well on the committee. She's not here presently because she needed to attend to something very, very urgent, but she actually did so much behind the scene. At the same time, we have our admin, one of our admins in person of Temitope Olugbeja. She's been the one managing the WhatsApp group. For those of you who have been on the WhatsApp group and that place has been very cool for some of you. Even you comment, and she has been the one in charge of that. And as well, I cannot but appreciate the entire team of the Food Legends. I mean, every one of them have been so amazing. For some of you to get registered, they had to, share it on their status, share it on Facebook, broadcast it, and do all of that just to make sure that, yeah, this thing reaches to somebody that actually needs it. And that's why you are here today and you are actually gaining from us. So I want you to do something for me right now. Before you even start typing your questions in the comment section, I want you to just give them a shout out just by saying thank you to this group of people. Just type thank you, thank you, thank you. Please, I want you to give them a shout out. Can we do that fast? So I just want to see the thank yous flowing in. Let's see the thank you flow in. We are thanking those people who actually worked behind the scene to make this happen. Can we do that fast? Please, please, please. I'm begging, I'm begging, I'm begging, I'm begging, I'm begging. Can we do that? So let me see the thank you flow. I'm waiting for you. I'm checking my phone. I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting. You must type that thank you, or else we will not move. Type it, type it, type it, type it, type it now. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Jediro. Thank you. Is she the only one I have? Is she the only one I have? Let's have more thank yous flow. Thank you. Thank you so much, Adewumi Olubumi. Thank you for thanking this category of people. Thank you. Thank you, Padiola Adefunke. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for appreciating their input. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. So right now, sorry, please, before we still move on to the question and answer, I'm trying to see a number of things. Okay, the last thing we are going to talk about will be the winner of the giveaway contest. That one will come up after the question and answer session. But I also need to chip this in before we move on to question and answers. We have a plan to award the people who partook in this webinar. I mean, the people who joined this webinar from the beginning, and you are right here, you are still flowing, you learned, you made jottings. So we don't want it to just go like that and without any form of recognition or any form of attestation. So we have plans to actually attest to the fact that you were a part of this webinar. But because of time, this is the way we are going to go about it. There is going to be a short, very short test that is going to be as regards everything that we have discussed so far. Don't worry, it's not going to be something very hard. It's going to be very simple questions. So chill, relax. It will be very simple questions. As long as you were part of the webinar, definitely you'll be able to answer it. So we are going to come up with a very short test. The link for the test will be sent to your mail. Will be sent to your mail, let me say between today and tomorrow. Please, as soon as you see that link, just make sure that you partake in the test. Partaking in the test is what will make us award you. We are going to give you a badge of honors, and we are going to attest to the fact that you actually learned certain things during the webinar, and it's going to carry our logo and the signature. Do you understand that? So I hope that we would not love to miss that. So that you can always, anytime you need something like that, you want to notify an organization that you were once a part of a webinar like this, you can definitely bring out such a document and it's going to be acceptable. So I hope we get that. So please and please, urging us, pay attention to your mails. Those of us on WhatsApp, don't worry, the notification will be sent on WhatsApp as well as soon as that is done. Okay, so now I think we can now begin to have the questions. we can begin to have the questions now. So please, let's drop our questions. Any question you have, be it as regards my introduction, the things I shared during the introduction, or as regards the first session or the second session or the third session, any question that you really need clarity about, please can we share them so that we can address it? Okay, thank you. There is a question right here on the screen, and I think this one should be for the nutraceutical session. The question says, can probiotics only be found in yogurt? And then what other places can they be found? Can probiotics only be found in yogurt? And then what other places can they be found? That's the question.
Can I answer the
Uh,
question now?
yes, yes, Ma, you can.
Okay, probiotics are not usually found in most food because they are microorganisms added to foods. But in our own Nigeria here, let me just say in Western world, we have tempeh. Tempeh is like a cheese produced from plant cheese. So they have probiotics. We have sauerkraut too. Sauerkraut is a fermented cabbage. So they contain probiotics. We have kimchi. They are not really Nigerian products. And you can find probiotics in Greek yogurt. You can also find them in raw milk, that is fresh milk extracted from the cow. You can find probiotics in it. So those are the places you can find. And also in cheese too, you can find probiotics. But what if you're avoiding cheese due to fat? What if you're avoiding raw mix due to fat? So yogurt is actually medicinal. Thank you.
Just think maybe it might be helpful for the audience. How about pap? Because I kind of think pap as well undergoes fermentation and it's also exposed to microbial activities. Does that
Those are
make it more?
prebiotics. Those are prebiotics.
Okay, okay. All right, man.
Yes.
Thank you very much. So I hope
Yes,
somebody has gained clarity as regards that. Thank you very much, man.
yes, sir.
Okay, I'm seeing another question right here. The question from Atim Rijal. Please, can we? Okay, thank you. Thank you for bringing that up the screen. Thank you. The question says, how many micronutrients and macronutrients? Sorry, there is an issue with my computer screen here. That's what I'm trying to check on the phone. It says, how many micronutrients and macronutrients does a person in his or her 30s take, or should a person in his or her 30s take per day, and how should it be calculated? I think this person is just trying to ask about the measurement. Is there a specific measurement for the amount of macro or micronutrients I should consume per day if I'm in my 30s? I think that's a question this person is trying to ask. Okay. Um, if I'm going to answer this question, I would say that it all depends basically. Well, you've already specified the age, but as well, it also depends on your body type. And I'll tell you what I mean by your body type. Not only your body type, it also depends on the nature of your work, the nature of your job. You see, these two factors have so many roles to play as regards the amount of macronutrients or bit micronutrients that you are to consume. Okay, take for example, somebody who has a job where he is physically engaged. I mean, actively. He has a job where he has to move up and down, he has to carry heavy items and load of items. You cannot compare the amount of macronutrients that such a person needs to somebody who, has maybe a blue collar job. Do you get the point now? Who works maybe in a laboratory or to someone who works in an office? So the kind of job that you are actually having, or the kind of job, your kind of job that you do, also has a huge role to play when it comes to how much macronutrients or micronutrients should I take. But this is just the trick that I need you to understand. If you have a job that makes you live a sedentary lifestyle, I mean that you are not actively engaged. Try all possible best to not base so much of your diet just on macronutrients. Do you understand now? Don't take too much of carbohydrate, don't take too much of fat. Because by doing that, you are going to only make your body over nourished as regards those particular nutrients. So for someone like that, the food that you would need, just take moderately, take carbohydrates moderately, take proteins moderately, take what is it called as well, take fat as well moderately, and then you take more of this micronutrient because that kind of tends to strengthen your immune system and make you much more fit. At the same time, if you also have a sedentary lifestyle as such, then you should know that for you, making it a duty to actually exercise daily should no longer be something you have to start thinking about. You need to find a means. Do you understand me now? To make sure that the food you're actually taking in, you're finding a means to burn those calories, and it's not just settling up and settling up and settling up and settling up in your body. But if you are somebody who has a very active daily engagement, I mean, then you can as well take as much, macronutrients, and that's specifically carbohydrates, protein, fat, as you would like to. That is enough to carry you on for daily activities. So I hope I'm able to answer that question. It depends on a number of other factors. It's not just dependent on age alone. It depends on the nature of your job, depends on the nature of your job. And what was the other factor that I even talked about? Can I even pick it right now? So, but I hope I've been able to answer that question. Thank you. Do I have anyone who wants to attend the question as well? Okay, so shall we move? Is there any other question? Please, somebody should help me check. Is there any other question we need
Yes,
to pay
there's a question.
attention? Okay, okay. There's
Sorry,
even a question.
I want to make an emphasis, please.
All right, now you're free, man.
Yeah, for someone that asks for the probiotics, see, there is difference between probiotics and the prebiotics. When we talk about when if you like they all work in the same way, but I think probiotic is better because some microorganisms are added into the food, like the fermentation products. But in prebiotics, we can find microorganisms too, like medicinal microorganism in garlic. You can find them in pulp because they are fermented products. Other fermented products, apart from yogurt, they are prebiotics. Most of the probiotics are like yogurt like, and this one that I talk about,
Okay.
sauerkraut, which is a vegetable too. So you can find prebiotic in the onion. You can take onion, you can take banana, oats, go whole grains. In fact, you can act as a veggie sometimes, like a vegetarian sometimes, to have your prebiotics, and they're beneficial too. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very, very much. I think she's been able to clarify that very well now. So when we're talking of probiotics, we're not just talking about, there's probiotics and there's prebiotics as well. So please, I hope we take note of that. Yeah, there's a question here. It says, does your calorie intake depend on your body weight as an adult, or is it a general requirement? Does your calorie intake depend? I think this is similar to the question I just finished answering, right? This is something similar. Your calorie intake is not just your job, the kind of how physically engaged you are. Do you understand now? The dietary intake of somebody who is an active wrestler, for example, cannot be compared to someone like me. Do you understand now? My work is more of like office duties. So the dietary intake of someone like that is definitely different, not just based on the body weight or size alone, but also based on the kind of physical engagement that that person actually has daily. Do we understand that now? So it's not just dependent on your body weight alone. Body weight is a factor, age is a factor. At the same time, the nature of your job is also another factor. So all of those factors are what you need to put in consideration before you can tell that, okay, this amount of calories I'm taking is too much, or this I need to take up more calories. So I hope that is understood now. Okay. So I hope we've been able to settle all the questions. I'm trying to check again for the last time to see that there is no question. If you notice we skip your question, please just do well to repeat it so that we can attend to it.
I think there's a question here.
So someone here says, what can be done to prevent low sugar levels? causing weakness and wanting to faint. Low sugar level. Thank you for raising that as well. Do I have anyone who wants to attend to it, or should I go? So I won't be the one.
Okay. All right. What can be done to prevent low sugar levels? During my section, I talked about eating fruits and vegetables. These things contain sugar already. So when you take more of these nutrients, have their own sugar. Like they have their own sugar already. So when you take more of these fruits and vegetables and whole grains, they have sugar embedded in them already. So it will give you strength and at least
Thank you so much for that, man. So I hope you get that perfectly. She's making us understand that fruits and vegetables also contain sugar. Do you understand? And if you take these foods consistently, definitely you are consuming sugar while at the same time you're also consuming other beneficial nutrients. You see, what makes this different from just consuming something like white sugar is that you're not just taking white sugar. White sugar doesn't contain other nutrients. It's just sugar alone. But when you take foods like fruits, you are taking sugar, but at the same time, you are taking other beneficial nutrients. So that way, you are giving yourself an holistic advantage. You are giving yourself an overall, a general advantage. So that's something that we need to take note of. At the same time, for someone like you, who is suffering from something like that, please don't go on excessive fasting period, at least until you notice that you are completely stable. Your blood sugar level is back to normal. Don't go on an extensive fasting period or intentionally going on hunger. What do they call it? Now? Is it hunger strike? You just don't eat. No, that shouldn't be you until you are able to retain or until you are fully restored back to your normal sugar level. That's when you can now say you want to start going on an extensive long period of time without taking food. So that please do take note of that. So we hope that question is also answered. Somebody says, does imbalance of macronutrient and micronutrient cause body weakness? I'm having that question here. Does imbalance of macronutrient and micronutrient cause body weakness? Well, it can. It all depends. It all depends. And that's why sometimes, even for some of these things, you still need to Miss Temitope emphasized that while she was speaking. She said that oftentimes you need to still go for medical checkups. And what is the need for a medical checkup? It's just to affirm what exactly is wrong. Do you get it now? Just to be sure that okay, this is exactly what is wrong. Okay, I'm going to take a scenario for myself as a case study. There was a time like that. I noticed I was having recurrent sickness and I was wondering what's happening. Why am I having recurrent sickness and all of that? So it got me a little bit concerned and I was treating it, but the thing kept coming. So at a point when the person attending to me asked a couple of questions, and the person just gave me nutritional supplements to take, it was at that moment I knew that wow, I've not been eating well. That's what has been responsible for the recurring sickness. My immune system has not been strong because I've not been eating well. Why? I skip meals. I just, I'm always lost in work, overloaded, overburdened, and before I knew it, it was already weakening my immune system. Do you get the point now? So sometimes you just need to go for a medical checkup to be sure what exactly is wrong. And after that moment, when the person prescribed that nutritional supplement for me, it's then no. I made sure I was eating well. I made sure I was paying attention to my diet, and that was the end of that season of recurring sickness. So I hope you get the point now. So sometimes you might still need to go for a medical checkup just to affirm what exactly is wrong. So I hope that question is answered as well. All right, thank you. So we want to say a very big thanks to you as well. Thank you for joining in. This webinar will not be worthwhile if you have not joined us. It is you joining in that makes this worthwhile. At the same time, before we go, we want to say a very big thanks to each and every of our facilitators. A very, very big thank you to them. They sacrificed their time and they've decided to share out this knowledge to us freely. I mean, freely, and that is highly commendable. Thank you so much again, Legend Pfizer. Thank you, Legend Temitope. And thank you, Legend Damilola. We are so, so grateful. Thank you so
Thanks
much.
for the
Thank you.
feedback, sir.
Yes. So, to the last thing, and by then we will be going. Those who want to wait to hear the winner of the giveaway contest,
Sorry, I think
I'm
there's
going to.
another question.
Okay, is that still a question?
What can be done to prevent low sugar level causing weakness and wanting
Yeah,
to
it
faint?
has been attended to, ma. It has been attended
Okay,
to. Yes, ma.
okay.
So the winner of the giveaway contest, the graphical illustration will be sent to the WhatsApp group as directly received from the source link. Do you get the point now? It's directly received. And the winner actually is Oladoja Bakery. She was the one who won after eventually. I think she won the next person by just one. I think it was just one, just a single one. So what I'll do also I will send the graphical illustration to the WhatsApp group. So please be on the lookout. Be on the lookout. Check up your meals consistently so that you can partake in the test that we've spoken about earlier on. And as soon as you uh, completed the test, definitely the document of attestation will be sent to your mail that you were a participant of this webinar and that you were fully engaged and fully present. So we want to say very big thanks to every one of you for joining us on this platform once again. Thank you. We love and celebrate you. Thank you.